Now you might not be able to see this, but it says insert eye roll here. It's backwards on an Android phone. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, Supersize Your Business. And today we're going to talk about the idiom, the expression, familiarity breeds contempt. Now this is one of those idioms that's been around for a long time, and it has a lot to do with eye rolls and how we treat and act with one another, especially people we're really close to, our families, thus familiarity, the people that are our significant others, the people we grow up with, our siblings. You know, I don't know about you, but in my family, I grew up in a family of all girls, and we girls, we could fight and not get along with each other and criticize one another, but if anyone outside of the family ever said anything about one of our sisters or one of us, we would all band together and that it just wouldn't happen. Nobody was allowed to be disparaging or rude or bullying toward any one of us because we would all band together. Yet we could still fight and pick on each other. Familiarity builds contempt or breeds contempt. Now, does it really? Does it always? Of course it doesn't always. Nothing always happens. But this is an idiom and an expression that's been around for a much longer time than when it was first published and used by Geoffrey Chaucer in his Tale of Melibea, Melibea. And that was in 1386. So that was the first documented use of the term familiarity breeds contempt. Well, what does that mean to our businesses and our life? All of us have been in relationships or situations where we find that when we're around a person or a situation too long or too much, we start to pick at the things that we don't like about it. Have you ever had a roommate that you loved in the beginning and then you started to realize they drove you nuts because they had all these crazy habits that were different than yours, and like maybe they left the tube top off the toothpaste tube, or maybe they left the bathroom a mess, or maybe they threw their stuff around, or maybe they didn't do dishes, or maybe they ate your food, or maybe your significant other did and had habits that drove you nuts. And the more you were with that person, the longer you're with that person, the more you're focusing on the things you don't like about them, which is the key to making sure that familiarity does not breed contempt in our organizations, in our businesses. I noticed that I have certain colors, and the reason I chose gray today is gray is one of those colors that I don't resonate with. I don't like the color gray, and I don't not like most colors. I usually love all colors, but of all the colors in the possible spectrum of color, grays are my least favorite. So what did I do? I wore a gray sweatshirt today, and I used a gray cup because I'm actually not very familiar with gray. I think that it comes from my real estate days where there's certain colors, just like in fashion, in the real estate industry, there's trends of different colors that become popular in homes. And so in real estate, I remember when it was yellows, back when it was the rust colors and the golds and the oranges, and not each decade even, but they go through phases when then everything was beige and then everything was yellow. For a while was it the 2000s, everything was yellow, and you'd walk into a house and you'd be like, whoa, yellow entryways, yellow living rooms, yellow kitchens, and it was overwhelming sometimes. So certain colors would become too popular, and then you'd start to not like them. They'd fall out of favor again. Certain activities, repetitive activities for me personally, are what I call chores. Maybe because we call them chores, they tend to be things that we don't like to do, but we need to do them. We have to do them. You got to do laundry or have someone do your laundry, but you don't have to like it, but you've still got to do it. You don't have to hate it. And I taught myself to actually like doing laundry. I don't mind doing laundry at all. I don't mind grocery shopping, except now during COVID, I don't like grocery shopping, or shopping at all, or going to the store. But before that, I used to love grocery shopping. It was just one of those things that I taught myself. It had to get done at least every week, so I figured I'd better figure out a way to like it. Same with jobs in corporate America and our businesses. We need to make sure that we are purposefully, consciously building systems and activities into our operations that add creativity and fun and activity and newness. And that's why I think I like auditing and reviews so much, is because they force me to actually look at my business, look at different situations and areas of my life on a regular basis to make sure I'm not getting into a rut. To me, familiarity breeds contempt is a lot like getting into a rut or taking people for granted or not respecting them. And that only happens kind of when we forget to be new and lively and alert and conscious ourselves, right? I think Familiarity means that we're just falling into routines, and that is often a rut, and we're not looking at things with fresh eyes from a new perspective and having a new point of view. So curious how you've personally impacted or been impacted by this particular idiom. Have you noticed times in your life when, I used to call it my 3-year itch. In corporate America, I would go to a new industry, go to a new job. I'd be there. I'd be super excited for about the first year. Then the second year, because I'd be learning all about the industry, all about the business. The second year, I'd be putting systems and improvements and things in place and getting things clicking and moving along. So by the third year I worked in a job or an organization, I was done. I was over it. I had put all the systems and things in place that I wanted to put in place to get continuous improvement going, and I was ready to move on to the next thing. And I saw that pattern repeat in my corporate career throughout the 2.5+ decades that I was there, over and over and over again. And that's part of why I've been involved in so many different businesses and so many different industries. I guess it's a high curiosity. I'd like to say boredom threshold, but it's really high curiosity to do something new and different. So familiarity breeds contempt. Share in the comments below your experience with this particular idiom. Has it impacted you? Have you had to, like me, figure out ways to overcome it and make sure that I don't fall into ruts or routines or focus on the negative, and that I focus on the positive instead and go with the flow of certain situations? Allow and remember that we are all human, me included, and I guarantee that I want to be kind and open and flexible and flowing and accepting of other people and their idiosyncrasies, because I guarantee I do things that bug the living crap out of people as well. So I just need to remember and remind myself of that. Have an amazing day. I'll be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how much you use it to grow and supersize your business right now. Take care. Bye.